Happy Monday, my fabulous vibers. Welcome back to my podcast where I believe that every woman deserves the freedom to craft the life she wants and the guts to go after it. We will share stories, facts, and opinions on various aspects of life to give you that kick in the ass to light you up and spread killer vibes every day, 24/7. Today, my friends, I am going to be talking about my 2021 resolutions. And these resolutions are super personal to me, super, I guess, vulnerable for me because these are things and these are topics that I don't necessarily talk about, but I think it's important for me to share them with you so that you get to know me a little bit better, so that you get to know who I am a little bit closer. I think that a lot of you probably know me only from social media, and maybe you've met me in person, maybe you haven't, but the topics that I'm going to be talking about today and some of the resolutions tie into the topics and some of the things that are so important to me in terms of my life and where I'm heading in 2021 and where you're heading. And I'm really hoping that these resolutions help you in your quest to reach the best self for yourself in this 2021. So I just kind of want to go back to 2020 and where I am in 2020 and where I am in January of 2021, which is where I'm recording today. Again, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Vibes. We share vibes, we share positivity, but we definitely want to give you those killer vibes to conquer the world and conquer everything that you set out to conquer every day, 24/7. So for me, it's just, this time of the year, it's a lot of, refocusing and reviewing where I want to be, where I want to head for the new year. Obviously, January of 2020, I did not see the whole COVID thing coming. I did not know it was coming. I think I confronted my life in a really open-minded way. I had just closed my business. I closed it that literal December of 2019, not even knowing that COVID was on its way. I closed it because our lease was up and I just wanted to find a new place. Closed it, sold everything off, decided to just keep my online store at tbbyalicia.com. I figured that would be the place that I would head, and become more of an online store as opposed to a brick and mortar. That's not to say that that's not where I'm heading, that obviously online has been good and it's been amazing to keep it an online store, but I just haven't really focused on that and really haven't done anything for it. I think I set myself as a goal last year to not do anything and really use the whole year to regenerate myself and refocus and go back into where I really wanted to be in terms of 2020. And I really stuck to that, even though COVID happened. I really stuck to, really just taking my time away from a really high-powered job where I was networking. I was burned out from networking. I was putting in hours from like 9 to 9 because I used to host events. I used to host classes. And so my spot was always busy. But at the same time, it wasn't a great area. It wasn't a good spot. A lot of things were happening in that shopping center. And so for me, it was, the best idea was to close down as soon as my lease was up. And so for me, it was just moving forward and moving on. And so where am I right now? It's January 2021. And so, I'm going to talk today about 5 resolutions that I'm setting for myself for 2021. And I hope that these kind of set you in a path for your own resolutions. Obviously, mine are mine. They don't have to be yours. But if you like them and you think that they apply to you, please, by all means, take them with you. 2020 was an interesting year for me because, I was so not stressed out anymore. But even though I wasn't stressed anymore, even though I was taking it easy and I was really working with Rusk and helping him with this business, I was still very much anxious. And so anxiety for me has always been self-managed. My anxiety hasn't been something that I've taken any pills for. It hasn't been something where I've sought out a therapist. It's something that has just been in my life since I was 13 years old. The firstborn of a family of 4. My parents didn't know any English, so I took on, their problems, their issues. And so from then on, always just figured out a way to just make it happen for them, and make it happen for us as a family. Eventually, I went to college. Almost left college because my dad was out of a job. And so either I go to work or we go on food stamps. We got on food stamps. That helped me because I was able to stay in college and finish graduating. And then we found a house in Spring Branch because I needed to move from my house in the north side. I was being harassed by an ex-boyfriend who would come by and find and look for me every day. So for months, I would see him and he would just be there around me all the time. So I needed to leave. I needed to find an escape. And so for me, the escape was getting my family out of the north side. And we moved to Spring Branch in the year 1997. Anyway, so for me, my journey has been really filled with anxiety and stress ever since then because I've always taken care of them. Anyhow, eventually I got married and, Risk took on a little bit of that stress as well because he does help me out a little bit with my family and my parents, especially my parents. I'm really, really, really grateful and fortunate that my sister and my brothers take on a lot of the load from me. So that's always a nice breather for me. And I appreciate that so much because all four of us really do take on the weight of the family. But anyhow, 2021, where am I? Where am I going? And where are my resolutions? So I do have 5 resolutions that I want to share with you today. It's been an interesting journey. January 2020. It's from January 2021. I will tell you right now that I did gain the COVID-15, the COVID-20. So let's be honest, I did gain the COVID-20. I used to be, for the longest time, 130 pounds. I'm 152 now. So yeah, I gained a lot of weight. I think a part of it was just a lot of anxiety eating. The elections really threw me for a loop. Again, I've never taken any medication. I've never used anything to cover that for me. However, that doesn't mean that I'm against it. I just never used it. I never went to it. I'm actually pretty excited and proud of people that have been able to get help from therapists and from medication. I think, for me, I wish I would have taken that on, but I think I carry an old school mentality when it comes to that. Although I've really grown a lot in terms of therapy and talking about myself, but honestly, vulnerability doesn't come easy to me. I don't talk about my problems. I don't talk about my issues. However, I think it's always a good time to teach and to learn something new every day. So, I did gain a lot of weight. However, I didn't let my weight stop me from doing anything that I wanted to do. So part of my resolutions is I'm going to go back and talk about how I was able to do that and how I was able to continue that. So starting with number 1, I want to talk about a little bit of how, just the changes that I've gone through, from 2020 to today. But a lot of resolutions you maybe have heard, but I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how I get through my resolutions because I'm very goal oriented and I definitely, set myself goals and I do achieve my goals. Although this past year, I just kind of let myself go. I didn't really think about all the things because honestly, it was just a time for me to regroup. I was burned out. December 2019, I was burnt out. I was tired, I was exhausted. I couldn't think of doing anything else. I'm very grateful that Russ kind of takes over and he just says, it's your time. You take a chill pill, you rest, and you do things when you're ready. And when you're ready, I'll be here for you to help you through that. So nevertheless, let's talk about resolution number 1. And so resolution number 1 goes back to getting myself back to my normal weight, which is about 130. I'm at 150, so that would mean like a 20-pound difference. Cool, no worries. Sometimes I can say to you that I am insecure about the weight. I can tell you that I don't feel so confident, and sometimes I do feel confident. But I'm 45 now, so I've learned a lot of lessons that I want to just impart to you. when it comes to feeling confident, feeling good about yourself, even when you've gained some weight, even when you have, you can't fit into certain clothes that you love. Like I have clothes that I love that I've had for years and years and years, and I just love it and I keep it and I just adore that I look so good in it. I can't wear it now. Basically wearing yoga pants and t-shirts. That's okay though. Honestly, at this point in my life, I've really come to the conclusion that I am way more. I'm so much more than my size and I'm so much more than my weight. Of course, I definitely want to go back. So that's my resolution number one, is go back to my normal weight. That's not to say I don't want to get down to the goal weight, which would be amazing. I don't care about that right now. I just want to feel a little bit better, a little bit leaner. I just don't want to think about it so much. I want to be able to wear the clothes that I like to wear. I joined Noom in December, and it's really been helpful. It's a really great weight loss program. I tried to see where I'm heading with that. I'm starting off at 153 pounds. My goal is 133. Let's see if it happens. Let's see if it goes. If I get to 123, 125, that would be amazing, but that's not my goal. Honestly, I just want to be back to where I was for the longest time because that's where I feel comfortable. I feel happy at that point. It's just a great place for me. Again, I am at an age where I don't have, my sense of self doesn't come from that anymore. Let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes, what's going on in the process of recording a podcast. So people know the freaking hell we go through sometimes to record a podcast. How many hours have I been working on this, Rusk? So 3 to 4 hours?
Yeah, I would say probably.
Why? Because I couldn't connect a Mackie microphone that I got for Christmas.
Yeah, just the technology is not very user-friendly.
And we kept blaming my computer, but I don't think it's my computer. Although my computer is, what, 8 years old now? Almost 9 years old.
9 years old, yeah. That's ancient in computer.
No, I don't think so. For Macs, they're supposed to go on forever.
No, they're not.
Honey, my stuff always lives forever.
It does. But
everything I have lives on for years.
No, you take care of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get outdated. It doesn't keep up with all the new technology. Every year they're always doing something different.
I know, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in producing a podcast. And I'm supposed to be recording, and I'm trying to record on Saturday. And I can't record on a Saturday because I have problems with my microphone. I can't connect my new microphone, my Mackie, to my computer. We've tried 2 different Macs. Nothing is going through. We tried connecting headphones and we couldn't connect the headphones. My son Alex tried coming in and helping me out and figuring it out, and we couldn't figure it out. And then you came in.
Yeah. And
you're still trying to figure out how to work the Mackie. I just want everybody to know how crazy it is sometimes just to record a podcast episode. Right. Usually my podcast producer does it, but I told her this time I wanted to do it by myself. A bad idea.
Keep talking.
I probably needed her to come in and do this for me. That's probably what she needed to do.
You don't hear that tapping in your microphone?
No, I don't. Trying to figure out how to get this podcast episode going. We're supposed to be batching at least 5 episodes today and tomorrow. Batching means recording a bunch of episodes at one time, sometimes one after the other. And today we did a brainstorming with my social media engagement girl. She came in and we did a little bit of brainstorming to kind of get our notes together and make sure that we outline the next episodes that we're supposed to be doing. But obviously that doesn't always work out when your equipment isn't working or isn't there, and you've got people that can help you, but sometimes it's just, all the YouTube videos that you watch don't help. So we're still trying to figure that out. We're still trying to see where we go and what we do. Honestly, right now, if I can just record something and get it out there and put it in batch form, I'll be happy about that. But, I think a lot of people just assume that podcasting just happens, and it doesn't. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order for that to come through. We have equipment. I have my Mac laptop, which my husband thinks it's old. I think it's still pretty freaking amazing. It is about 8, 9 years old, but that's okay because to me, everything is supposed to last forever and I squeeze the juice out of everything. That's just who I am. That's how I've always done things. He thinks it's time for a new computer. I don't want a new computer. I love my Mac and I don't want to get another one. This is the best thing that I've had forever. Everything is connected to Apple. We have an iPad, we have our iPhones, we have the Mac. Everything is connected to Apple TV. We're super, super Apple people, but sometimes we can't figure out why a Mackie microphone can't connect to our headphones. Again, we have a Beats that he's working on through Bluetooth, and then I have a regular headphone that I connect through a jack. That's not working. It's just not even like making any sense why it's not working. We've done our notes, we did our brainstorm, we did our outline, we're just ready to record. And again, we're, struggling with that. So next time I definitely need to probably prepare more ahead of time and test it out maybe a day or two ahead before I start trying to record. Right, Mr.
Yep.
E? Are you frustrated right now?
No.
Oh, why am I
It
frustrated?
records, I just can't hear outside.
Anyway, so we are preparing to record at least 5 new episodes today and tomorrow. They're going to be very open, very vulnerable episodes, things that I don't typically talk about, but that my listeners really want to know more about. There's a lot of things in terms of subject matter that my listeners want to know more about, and they really want to get inside my head and inside my thought process. And I think a lot of times I just tend to be very private about a lot of things, but having a podcast means I can't be that private. I have to be a little bit more open and just let you guys into my life a little bit more. The new year brings in, for me, new goals. And so I'll be talking about New Year's resolutions. I will be talking about why I gained the COVID-15, the COVID-20, and how I felt about that and how that didn't keep me from living my life. Obviously, I've joined a new weight loss program, but that's part of what I'll be talking about. That's something that I really love. Just a lot of different things and a lot of topics that we're going to be going. Nothing, Mr. E? You tried your best.
It records, and you can hear the recording on here.
Yeah.
You can't hear yourself while you record.
Gotta look at things different, I guess. I don't know.
I'll be back. I gotta go eat.
You're hungry. Go eat. Thank you for helping. Love you.
It's just not compatible for some reason.
Yeah. Close the doors, honey.
You want the light?
No. So just, going back to, those things that we set for ourselves in terms of our resolutions, thinking about where we want our life to go for 2021, thinking about the lessons we learned of 2020, but definitely looking at things a little bit different. And for me, being 45 now, I think what I was telling Rusk the other day was that I think I've come to a crossroads, and the way that I see things is just not my 40s, my 30s. It's more of like I'm 45 and like, where am I going and what am I doing now? And am I doing things that just make me happier more now as opposed to the things that I'm supposed to be doing? So those are some topics that we're going to be talking about and things that we have discussions on. We're going to be talking about teenagers and social media. That's something that a lot of people ask me about. I'm very fortunate and I'm very lucky that my kids, I don't know, maybe it's not fortunate, but because I really do put a lot of effort into my kids, but I get a lot of comments, from people who know my boys, and they're like, your kids are just so well behaved. They're so proper. They're really smart. They're really good kids, and they really respect, the people around them. And I think that's something that's been very deliberate in the way that Rusk and I parent them. But honestly, I really don't like talking about them. I really don't like, giving parenting tips, because I think parents just have their own way of doing things. And my tips, honestly, are probably just good for me and Rusk. I don't necessarily think that our tips work for everybody, because my kids are different. They're kind of brought up in this household the way that we are, the kind of people that we are. Rusk and I run a really tight ship. We don't allow for a lot of nonsense. We really, there's a lot, it's very authoritarian in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways, it's also very easygoing and free flowing. I don't really like giving parenting advice. It's just something that I really don't like, but I get a lot of questions on how do you deal with them and their social media and their boys, and are they on TikTok? Are they on Snapchat? Are they on Instagram? How do you manage those networks for your kids? And so for me, I just say, well, there are ways that we do it. We do have a strategy for everything that we do. I just don't necessarily think that it applies to everybody. And I think everybody has different ways of doing things, and every family has different value systems. Our value systems are very unique to our family. And so the way that I raise my boys is very different to the way other people raise their kids. We're extremely open-minded. We're extremely progressive in the way that we parent, but also we really hold on to traditional values of manners, of, addressing adults in a certain way, of not using certain language, really holding themselves to a really high standard when they're around adults. We review ideas for being around people, social networkings. I don't want my kids to be socially awkward. I really want my kids to be able to have a conversation with anybody. And so for me, it's really important that we always raise them in ways that we're encouraging their thought process, and we're encouraging their exposure to the world. Anyway, those are some of the ideas that we have. I'm also going to be talking about social networking and networking in person, women networking groups, and some experiences that I've had in dealing with women's groups. I'm going to also be talking about, for Valentine's Day, there was an episode coming up about how to date your husband or how to date your boyfriend, and how to just keep the fire going, how to dress for your date. It's just going to be more of like a fun episode on like dressing and anticipation, and, what kinds of things can you do so that your significant other feels loved and feels happy and excited about, being with you, that sort of thing. So look out for that. That's coming up very soon. And again, follow us on all of our social media networks at Vibes by Alicia on Instagram, or you can also go at think_chick for Instagram and then see what's up with my personal account. And then my business account is at thinking_boutique. That is where you can go in there and you can purchase pieces that I talk about. There's a lot of style and fashion that I do. So go in there and see what you like. If you like something, you can absolutely order it through my website. Also, if you have any suggestions on topics you want me to talk about, things that I'm very open, I'm really good about that. But like I said, there's certain things that tend to be very personal, but, I've heard it from enough people to be able to open up a little bit more about that. So here we are. It is 2021. It is January, and we cannot wait to get going. Love you guys.
Good.